we currently, as a society, satisfy some of our needs, such as food, such as clothes, such as cosmetics, such as medicine, such as entertainment, with usage of animals. And the moral question has been raised whether it is right or wrong. So, what we want to present you here is that the suffering of the animals and animal rights as such should never be an obstacle to satisfying social needs that we have already mentioned before. So, I'm going to go into my first argument, which is the concept of rights and responsibilities. So, we currently base our society and our social values on the rights and responsibilities that every member of it receives. So, when you gain some rights, you also get some responsibilities. Perhaps you don't get responsibilities right away, so when you receive some rights, you right away get the responsibility. But you get it later on. Even if a child does have some rights, later on in life it gets responsibilities towards the society. What we feel here is that doesn't happen with the animals. So, first of all, animals lack the intelligence to question the social morals and social rights, social responsibilities as such. So when it comes to the concept of rights and responsibilities, it is extremely necessary for you to understand the concept as such, to understand why you get the rights and why you get the responsibilities. And it is extremely important that you connect to those things. Animals as such cannot understand the whole concept. So even if you give them rights, they cannot understand why they have been given those rights, nor can they gain responsibilities as humans do. So when it comes to that, if you can't gain any responsibilities as humans do, you're not under that concept of rights and responsibilities. If we base our whole society on those rights and responsibilities, we feel that you should gain rights only if you're going to gain responsibilities. So, if it happens that an animal can never obey laws of humans and the laws of the society, if it only takes rights, if we can't include them into our society as we include humans, we don't feel that they're harmed as humans would be. So that is the first part, and that is the hierarchy of rights and responsibilities. So we give something to the humans, and humans can give it back to society later on. When it comes to responsibilities of the whole society and the responsibilities of the state, we feel that the state and society have only responsibility towards humans. So in that sense, when we're speaking about satisfying social needs, we feel that those needs should be respected as such, that society requires them to be satisfied as such, and in order for us to get the most moral way of satisfying those needs, we need to find a way which won't harm the things that we value the most, that is the humans, and those that we are most responsible for. So, I have already mentioned one difference between animals and humans. Second, perhaps, would be the idea that they can, that their predispositions as such can never be achieved as humans can. So, before I continue, are there any questions? Okay, no.
Yes. Why don't you think that the law about responsibilities, like moral responsibilities towards animals, do not apply here? Because we know that animals can physically feel to the same amount that humans can.
Okay, first of all, it has never been proven to us that animals do feel the way that humans do. Even if we, to some extent, accept the idea that animals do feel hurt and feel harmed, we still feel that humans can feel more, and that the whole idea behind this concept of rights and responsibilities is that if you are already gaining something from the society, you should give it back as well. So if you're going to give animals the rights that they would have, if we don't use them, if we accept the idea that it is immoral for us to use animals in satisfying our own needs, we would have the other option would be to use humans and such. So even if we say that we use in some cases we use humans, we see that it is more immoral than using animals. First reason is the idea that state in some cases protects humans from harming themselves. Humans sometimes can't differ how much it will harm them, and the experiments that that we use animals for in some satisfying of social needs would harm them more than it would harm animals. So when it comes to moral dilemma between humans and animals, we feel that harming animals is more moral. So second thing is the idea of hierarchy of rights. So when we come to that, we do feel that in whole society we differ ourselves from animals. So when we differ ourselves from the animals, we should differ also the laws that apply to both humans and animals. So when it comes to that, we should create two separate rules or two separate concepts. So in that sense, we feel that if the concept of rights and responsibilities that I have already explained to you overrates the concept that we would create for animals, we feel that it is more moral for us to use animals for satisfying our own needs. So for all throughout whole my speech, I have shown you that the animals don't necessarily feel or obliged by the rules of the society that we currently live in. That the society has needs to be satisfied as such, and that we need to use animals as the most moral way of satisfying those needs in order for us to better ourselves. Even if needs are individual or social-wide, we still feel that even individual needs should be satisfied as such. So we don't all use cosmetics as such, but individuals do. And even if it's gain on and benefit on an individual level, even if it's for like 1% of people, we still feel that it is necessary for us as a society to give them because they give us back. So for all the reasons that I've said, vote proposition.
We thank the Prime Minister for his speech and would now like to call upon the Leader of the Opposition to open this debate for the opposition side. Hear, hear.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'll start here by rebutting some points of the first proposition speaker, and then I'll present you our first argument, which is social deformation, and my second speaker will address our second point, which is moral implication towards the inferior. First of all, our government defined, in their definition, used societal needs as food, medicine, cosmetics, or entertainment. We agree that societal needs are food, are medicine, and even clothes to some extent, but we disagree that cosmetics and entertainment can be considered societal needs. Why is that? Because cosmetics, we disagree that it's unnecessary. That's first, because that is something that we can live without. And the second point is that testing cosmetics and producing cosmetics is possible without animal abuse and the usage of animals. Second, entertainment. We agree that entertainment is an important part of our social lives, and we do agree that entertainment is really important, but we disagree that animals are necessary and that it's inevitable to use animals to entertain people. Therefore, we also disagree with this part of our government's definition. The argument presented, which is rights and responsibilities, is we get rights because we have consciousness and we are intelligent and we can respect those rights. And animals are not intelligent beings, so they don't deserve rights. So if they don't deserve rights, they also don't deserve normal lives, actually lives without pain and without trauma, because also, even though that animals are not intelligent beings, they do feel pain and they have some kind of behavior that is being harassed by using them in purposes of getting food, getting medicine, getting cosmetics and entertainment. We would definitely like to concentrate more on cosmetics and entertainment, which we don't consider inevitable social needs. Our first argument, which I'm going to present now, is social deformation. By implementing this motion, And then they just don't think about it, and they subconsciously take it as something true, which means that there is not enough awareness. What does it mean to take, that they take things for granted? They don't look into what they are doing. They don't go any deeper. They just do the things that social norms make them feel are right. People don't understand how the things they have, they use, or they do have been actually supplied to them, and on what basis those things were supposed for them to do. By opposing this motion, we think that we will raise awareness in people and make them see the flaws of our society. And the flaws of our society, we consider our order, our urge to use other human beings, other beings that are inferior to us, just in order to get what we want and what we think we need. What we as a team of opening opposition agreed on is that nowadays we are kind of creating a society that doesn't have a clear and healthy mindset. What we think by that is that we use inferior beings, such as animals, in order to get some things that are not really necessary, which I already previously stated. Is it necessary to have cosmetics? Is it necessarily to have fun based on animals? And is it necessary now to, I don't know, wear fur or similar things, which is a huge trauma for animals? It's not. Yes, please.
But what about meat, for instance?
We agree that inevitable societal need is food and is medicine, but even for medicine, it's only the last resort. We do agree that for food we can use animals, not in excessive amounts in which we do, but we do agree with this part of the definition, and we do agree that food is a societal need. Because in the end, that's our instinct, and we are, I don't know, omnivores, that we can't just go against that. That's our physical need.
Wait.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So, what we agreed on is that society accepted animal abuse as something completely normal and as something that is just everyday thing that's completely usual to do, and what is the biggest problem is they consider it a right thing to do. Therefore, we think that by opposing this motion, we will avoid the social deformation of humans becoming not only wrong about considering things that are not necessary, but they are becoming really cruel in running after their needs. How many people, like I can bet that some of you saw the photos of animals on which they test cosmetics. Those animals lack hair, those animals get blind, those animals get sick, but they are still alive, and they don't kill them until they see what's actually going to happen and how that is going to influence humans when they start using those products they've been testing in animals. We consider that animal abuse is creating huge deformation in our society and makes human beings something they initially weren't. As I already said, we do agree that food is not only societal need, but it's our physical need. That's our independent need, something we cannot definitely go against. And that for medicine, it should be the last resort. And we think that by implementing this motion, we will avoid social deformation, and we will raise moral obligation towards the inferior, and that's something my second speaker is going to address. Therefore, we're very looking forward to it.
We thank the Madam for her speech and would now like to call upon the Deputy Prime Minister to further this debate from the government side.
First, to point out the principle incoherence with government opposition case. Well, they say it's okay for animals to suffer, to die, if it is for meat or if it is for something that we don't have at all. If it is for some needs and for some needs gone, because for some other needs we have alternative. But for those needs that they pinpointed, that it is okay for animals to suffer, we also have the alternatives. And therefore, their logic of their case is incoherent because to some point they accept animal suffering. What we say is that our every need is more important than any single need of the animal, and therefore it's okay for us to do that in order to satisfy our needs. And we can rebut that some needs such as entertainment or cosmetics is not important. It is crucially important because it is a part of forming our identity, like corrida in Spain or cosmetics, because it defines our further life on how we see ourselves in our place in society. Because, for example, society judges by looks, or Spaniards form their identity.
What information is?
So yes, our every single need from our point of view is more important to us than animals' needs.
What information, please?
On the point of suffering, then do some yes, animals do suffer, we accept that, but what we say to our principle is that our need is more important than theirs. And to rebut their only argument about that social deformation later on, firstly, they never shown us causal link between that how we treat animals, we will reflect that on how we treat humans. No, we gave you, on the contrary, we gave you analysis. What is the difference between animals and humans, and between our perception of animals and humans? With humans, we can correlate. When we do see some person, we have our set of rules that will prevent us from doing so, and therefore we are obliged by the law, and because of our fear of perception, we will not do it. Second thing is that we empathize with people more, because they are saying to us, we can see us in them, and therefore we will not transfer that suffering towards the people. And I can give you quite an opposite example of a tree-drive ruler who actually loved animals, but wasn't that kind of people. For a moment. Let's now talk about our responsibility and the role of the jungle. We treat animals as in the same manner animals treat each other as such. By their set of, let's call it tools, because they do not perceive it as such. They do not have our animals do not have our moral set of values, and they do not see that aspect of responsibility and that construct of responsibility. It's a survival of the fittest. Who is the superior one? Who can survive has the right to do anything that is so. And therefore, by the rules of the animal game, we say it is morally okay. Also, when in a human-animal relationship, animal will not care about whether or not a human person is suffering or not. He will just follow their instincts and do anything for them that he believes that he feels or has an instinct to do right. So, and that is the thing later on in my speech. And that is the point. A second point when animals and people do distinct each other as species from. Therefore, we believe that the set of rules that we created for us applies because we want to be between each other. We want a set of rules that we created applies only for human beings as such. Animals do not contribute to the society proportional. In the way they contribute to society, to give us food, to give us this, we feed them, we give them that, we feed them. But then we say we have our second needs, and therefore we believe it is okay to kill you and let you get that animal to suffer in order to satisfy my second need. So it is how that thing functions.
For your information.
Okay.
Don't you think that in the past, sometimes some people consider themselves superior, since you said that if we are superior, we have a right to imply our rules? Do you therefore think that if people consider themselves superior, they can do whatever they want with whatever they are superior over? Is that what you're trying to say?
What we're trying to say that it is a speciesism. If they think themselves superior over a certain human, but then we see that we have a law, because we have a second person who is endangered by but that person who thinks that he can do whatever he wants to some other person. But we protect the human beings because that human beings contribute to our society. They protect our boundaries by going to war. war or by paying taxes. And therefore humans make our whole society better. And therefore that's why we protect each other among ourselves in our groups. Animals do not do that. We completely drew the line. Where is the difference between animal and between the human, and why so we believe we should not consider their rights? Why we shouldn't consider their rights as an equal to us? We believe that hierarchy of needs is it's separate, and it's not. It doesn't. Our hierarchy of needs does not clash with their hierarchy of needs, and our hierarchy of needs is, from our point of view, more important than theirs one. So to sum up, we say to you that animals do not have moral conscience. Animals do not interact with us in that way. They do not respect our rules and standards. We treat them as a law of the jungle to treat them, as they treat each other as such. We say to you that the only set of rules and respect we should have to the humans, because humans we can correlate to, we can see ourselves in them, and therefore humans will contribute to this society as such. Therefore we believe it is justified, that animals suffering is justified to satisfy our needs. So we beg you to progress.
We thank the Madam for her speech, and would now like to call upon the Deputy Leader of the Opposition for the debate for the opposition side. Here.
What you've heard so far from the government side is their definition. They define societal needs as food, clothes, cosmetics, as entertainment. Since when are cosmetics, and especially entertainment, societal needs? We have to make a clear distinction between the matters of needs and matters of wants, because we cannot accept that, as one of the proposition speakers has said, that something humans want should be more important than something that should be animal rights. What you also heard from them is that they are trying to make differentiation between human and animal rights. They say that we are superior and some rights that humans have should not be applicable to animals just because we are superior. Even though animals cannot emotionally feel in the same way humans can, even though we cannot emotionally harm them, they are still able to feel physical pain to the same extent we humans can. What you have also heard is an outrageous statement that everything humans need, all of our needs, and by the needs they define cosmetics and entertainment, which are certainly not needs. They say that entertainment, human entertainment, is more important than animal rights. That's what they are saying. Animals should have a right for abstinence of pain and for a right to live. We agree, the opposition side agrees that in some cases, for example, in medical research, in creating new drugs that could save someone's life, we should go over this. No, thank you. We should go over this stuff because we are doing something for the greater good. But just by pursuing our own entertainment, we are not doing something for our own good or for the society as a whole. They have mentioned survival of the fittest. Yes, we agree that the survival of the fittest is the law of jungle, but we are not living in the jungle. And certainly, we agree that humans need meat and that no thank you. But we do not agree that we cannot survive without cosmetics and that we cannot survive entertainment. Those are not needs, those are matters of want, not need. What you have also heard from them is that, no thank you, is that we humans treat animals in the same way because they are inferior, that we should treat them in the same way those animals treat their own inferiors. That would be true if there wasn't one fact. Humans are also animals, but animals of reason. Other animals humans are superior to are not animals of reason, and therefore justified for humans. Yes, please.
Okay, so the animals can't understand the concept of functionality of a human, but human can understand both concept of animal functionality and the human functionality, and that is why humans as such act accordingly to animals as animals act to themselves.
I did not understand your question. Was merely a statement, so therefore I'm not going to answer. The argument I want to introduce is that we as humans have some moral obligation towards the inferior. As I already stated, we are the animals for a reason. We are not just animals. We are not driven by our impulses as other animals are. We have reasons, we have morality, we have that sense that when we hurt someone, it's bad. Animals do not, and therefore we should not pursue that practice. Furthermore, what I would like to ask is that where does this practice stop? First of all, we were speaking about needs. We were speaking about food, clothes, to some extent. We were speaking about medicine, which could be justified. And then they switched to cosmetics and entertainment. Where does it stop? They are practically saying that we should entertain ourselves even though we physically hurt someone because we are superior and just because of the fact that we can do it. That is not humane, which is also why it's unacceptable for us. Another thing that we want to stress is that the side of the opposition strongly believes that humans are not valued by how they treat their equals, their humans, but how they treat their inferiors. Because we have moral obligation towards them, we can exert power over them, we can kill them, we can physically harm them, we can stop them from harming us. And that's where we have a right not to do so, because just because we have a power over someone doesn't mean we have to exert the influence and use that power in a bad way. Yes, please.
Yes, to say that all the things you talked about relationship between inferior and superior one, and respecting each other should only apply in human-to-human relationship, not in human and animal one, because we live according to different set of rules that we made up for ourselves. Animal one, human something.
Therefore, what I would again like to stress is that you were not speaking about human needs, you were speaking about the things humans want, and that is not justifiable. And what I want to stress again is that moral obligation towards the inferior, no thank you. Moral obligation towards the inferior is something that we as humans, as we like to stress out that we humans, we are not able to be proud of ourselves for being human if we torture someone just because we want to entertain ourselves or express our identity through different brands of cosmetics and stuff. That is not something we need. That is something we want and can certainly survive without in the law jungle. Therefore, because you have heard from practically they've been telling you that they would allow suffering, they would allow animal suffering just for the sake of human entertainment. Does that sound justifiable or acceptable to you? It does not to me, therefore I beg you to.
We thank the sir for his speech and would now like to call upon the member of the government to participate in the second half of the hearing.
Hello to everyone. First of all, let me start with the clash that has been happening. First of all, I will rebut what has been said in the last speech, and then I will say our argument, our point, which is economic point for the side of closing argument. Okay, but first of all, it has been a clash of definition here in the first part. We hear from the side of the opening opposition that food and clothes are the motion says animal suffering should not be an obstacle for satisfying any social needs. And any social needs is defined by food, clothes, and they accept it. But then they say it is not okay. So what we're trying to say is If you're going to do that, then you have to say for any social needs, even that means food, that means clothes, that means medicine, and that means everything. When it says any, then it has to be everything. That is what has been under the definition problem.
Then, I want to finish.
Thank you. What I'm trying to say. First, I will do the thing that they're trying to say is that because we are because animals are inferior to us, we need to have as humans moral obligation to protect them and to put their rights across. But what we say is, of course, because we are superior, we have to look what's best for us. We as humans are the ones who are intelligent, who have new technologies, who have new ways of exploring things. And we are the ones who are making the lives that we are living the best possible for us. If that means we are going to eat meat because we need proteins and B6 vitamins, then it's okay because we need those meats. It's okay if we need medicine when the snake bites us. It's okay to have that medicine, antidotes, that medicine, because it's important to us and we need because then otherwise we will get hurt or we will die eventually. No, thank you. What I'm trying to say is we are creating the rules because we are so advanced. So that means that we have to look what's best for humans. We have to always look what's best for us as a society. We need to see what the best option is for us. If the best option is to have a medicine, any medicine, even if it has been tested on animals, we need to have that because it's in order for us to save our lives, and our lives are important to us as a unity, as human beings. We need to do anything to preserve. Now, I will discuss another thing that hasn't been brought up still in the debate, and that's a little bit on the economy part. What I'm trying to say is, in those industries, even in meat industry, even in fur industry, even in medicine industry, pharmaceutical, it's all about economy. First of all, there are people who work there. There are a lot of people who have jobs there in farms, in I don't know, factories, and these people are very important to us. These people are the ones who have their job, and especially nowadays, it is extremely important to find your job. It is extremely important to have that place so you can have that money so you can buy your basic needs. And thank you. And when you have that job, we want to preserve that job. We feel that jobs are really important for the sake of humans, and because we are employed there, we now can have those needs to have money to buy things that are really important to us. Another thing, first of all, the pharmaceutical. Then another thing, which is we have the right of choice where we want to. The right of choice where we want to work, of course. Even if we work, for instance, if there is no job on the market, and we need, if there is a place where we can go and we feel that it's our choice to go there, then it's okay because we need that money for our basic needs. We need that money so we can function. And that is the reason why, even if it includes suffering animals, it is for the greater good of humans. And we believe that it is a greater good for human rights to be preserved than animal rights. Yes.
As a team of opposition, we agree to draw one parallel. So, during Nazi Germany, Dr. Mengele used people, enslaved them, and used them for the investigations that are going to benefit the economy, because we're already talking about economy and human health. So, do you think that enslaving, hurting, bringing pain, which we find similar both in humans and animals, do you think it's worth it? It's for the economy and health?
Of course it's for the economy and health. First of all, we can draw a parallel between human relationships and human-animal relationships. Those are really different relationships, because we as a human, we need to save our lives whenever possible. And if that means doing medicines, then it's okay for us. But having a relationship between human and animals is just so different, as I've already explained. explained in my speech. The second, and the thing that we are trying to say here on the closing side of our point is we believe that, as we heard, there is a hierarchy. And we are the ones who are in charge. We are the ones who have we are the ones who are on top. And we are determining what are we defining, what are we going to do. And because we believe that whenever it is in our basic needs, our basic social needs, it is okay for animals to be suffered because it just it is for the greater good of humans than the good of animals. And the other thing is the economy, because people are employed there, and there is always money, investments going in the process, so that means that is a greater good for humanity. If we have people who work there, if we have people who can bring that paycheck home and feed their children, feed their family, and that is okay for us. And it's not possible. Of course, if we have the choice to look for, we have the choice to see what do we actually want and to work in our best interest, and that is why I made to propose this motion. Thank you.
We thank the member of the government for his speech, and would now like to call upon the member of the opposition to open this debate for the last team yet to speak in this round, that is the political opposition. Here.
Greetings, everyone. Today, I would like to speak about feelings. I believe that human feelings, are very important in this debate. I believe that animals do not have reason as we do. Animals may feel pain, but they do not feel the same things as we do. They do not determine what's right and what's wrong. We do. I do not have a specific points of rebuttal. I will try to rebuttal the government case through my speech. And I will try to explain to you how animal suffering translates to humans and how actually humans suffer because of animals. And I will try to explain why it's not necessary for animals to suffer so that we could satisfy our needs. Well, what the government said for the first opposition is that they stated that some suffering is okay. But what I believe that opposition tried to say is that the difference between killing an animal without suffering and a prolonged suffering of an animal which happens in certain situations which I will explain through my speech. I believe that when animals suffer, a lot of people suffer with them. Why? Because people care for animals. People care for animals because animals are so cute. They're so powerful, they're so part of nature. We like nature, we like what we see. We care for them. They're helpless and we wish to protect them. As we wish to protect our children, as we wish to be protected inside of our society. Yes,
if humans like animals so much, why are our whole culture based on killing them to eat them?
Yes, this is very important. We have evolved as humans. We need meat. We still do need to eat meat because of the protein. We need to kill animals for their leather so we can make our shoes and etc. But we have evolved so much that we believe that animal suffering as a prolonged suffering is not necessary anymore. We believe that animals should not suffer when being killed for their meat. And I'll explain to you, and I'll paint you the picture of pig slaughter. What happens when you slay a pig? You enter a barn and you pick up that pig, or you drag it out of the barn, you take it by its legs, you cook it so it drops from its back legs, and then you take a knife and then you cut open its throat and then it bleeds for like 30 seconds. And that's suffering. Instead, we have developed a method of killing that pig so it wouldn't suffer by injecting poison non-lethal to humans, which without pain puts that pig down and then we take its meat. And all other parts that are necessary for satisfying human needs. As for meat, we believe that such ways of getting meat are horrific. And we believe that we as humans do not like, we do not like what happens. When you're sitting at home, when you're on Facebook and someone links you a page of, for example, farms, KFC farms, in which you have thousands of chicken which are brutally murdered for their meat, and they are not being taken care of, that causes distress in you. That makes you say, this is not right. When you say a pig getting slaughtered like that, you say, that's not right. When people in Spain understood this concept, they banned corrida. And corrida is not illegal anymore in Spain, and it does not anymore influence their formation of their identity as the government stated, but they still form their identity without corrida. And we believe that the suffering of the animals is not necessary for us. It's not necessary for us. We believe that without suffering we can achieve many things. We believe that we are horrified by other creatures suffering so much that we have evolved from simple beings to civilized creatures as we are today. We believe that humanity's tendency toward humane actions has forced us to change our behavior toward to gay people, to other religions, to way we wage war. We have become, even though war is still, let's say, necessary, and it still is horrific, it is less horrific than it was 2,000 years ago when it was all right to murder women and children. We believe that we as humans feel responsible and feel ashamed when animals suffer. And we feel that way because we know that they suffer so we could enjoy ourselves. We believe that even though we have the necessity of animals, we should prevent them from suffering. And I would like to make an example of zoos. When you go to a zoo, you feel happy because you have seen a lion, you have seen a giraffe, etc. But you do not see the other side of that matter. And that side is that those animals have lived their life in captivity. They have lost what made them animals, wild animals, and they have suffered in those zoos for our entertainment. Maybe a little bit dramatical example, but we have dog fights, we have cock fights. When I say cock, I mean male chicken. So people do that for money, for economy. And we believe that economy is irrelevant here, because not only that animals suffer, but also people suffer. We believe that those dog fights and cock fights are entertaining and profitable, but we believe that that's not the way it should be entertained. We believe that not all people would be satisfied just by giving animals a peaceful death, let's say. That many people are opposed to killing animals, period, but we believe that many more people need meat and like eating meat, but they do not like the way that animals are being killed, they do not like the way that the animals are being treated, and we believe that is very important. We believe that since we have a tendency inside of us to be humane, and since we do feel that responsibility and that shame that someone suffered because of us, we believe that that will be good for a lot of people, millions of people who feel appalled when they see pictures of KFC farms and dog fights and corrida and etc. And we believe that is very important, and that's why we should not allow this motion to pass. And I invite you, with this I conclude my speech, and I invite you to vote for the opposition.
We thank the opposition member for his speech, and would now like to vote on the government's vote to conclude this debate on the government side. Here.
Hello everyone. Today I would like to do two things. Firstly, I will address the last speech given, and then I will show you the bigger picture of the debate and why side I want. So, firstly, about the point of animal suffering transferring to humans. They talk about how the picture of pig being killed is ugly to us. Of course it is. It's ugly to listen, it's ugly to see, and much more. But in food needs, it can be provided other ways. For example, medical needs, it can be provided other ways. It's ugly, but it it's true that you have to test. If you have to test a medicine or a substance on an animal, it can be nice. It can be made less suffering than it is now. So for all the examples of redeveloping, and for example of the war being less violent, whenever people make new technologies, they make up new ways how to kill people. No, thank you. For example, before World War II, it was battle poisons were invented. It was a more harmful way of killing bigger amounts of people and making them suffer a bit bigger. So every time a new invention has been made, it's using to kill people in more innovative ways. So humankind evolving are giving us new opportunities for not for minimizing the harm, but maximizing it. So we have to explain some relationships. One of the questions was about relationships that humans have with humans, that animals have with animals, and that we have with animals. We believe that human-to-human interaction is much more different than human-to-animal interaction. Why? Because if I interact with you, I get some interaction back. For example, I have intelligence and reason to decide or to make some laws and rules upon which we all can act. Okay, so humans made some laws, some rules to not harm each other. Animals, on the other hand, don't have an ability to make such rules. They act upon only instinct. And we as a human, if we're superior to animals, and if we have needs that can be supplied to us any other way than by suffering animals, we believe that because of the reasons we are higher than them in some natural hierarchy, or if we're above them for our intelligence or for our reasoning, we should get these needs for any price, even if it includes animals.
Totally agree on your answer that we have to respect medical needs of humans. On what grounds can you possibly justify that you claim that entertainment is a human need that we should therefore allow suffering?
Okay, why is the entertainment human need? Because entertainment, the way you entertain, is part of forming who you are. It's part of the culture you live in, and it's in sociology you have a principle called cultural identity, as long as any other identity. It says that if a human being can only be happy if he can fit himself into the group on which he will interact. For example, that group could be a certain culture, a certain nationality, certain religion, certain friends. It doesn't matter. And some cultures have in them have some things that include killing animals. For example, for Spanish people, corrida is extremely important. Spain never banned corrida. Catalonia banned corrida. In Madrid, you can still kill bulls for fun. And even though it includes bull suffering because you killed it, and because you killed it in a bad way, it makes people who watch that happy, makes them identify with that culture to say, yes, I'm part of the Spanish culture, I like to kill the bulls, and bulls are being killed for me to have fun. It's ugly when you say it, it's ugly when you say it like this, but it's true. We identify with the culture, and if the culture includes suffering of animals, we identify with that, and that's a part of forming what our identity. That's the reason why is it social need. We as a side of closing government raised upon everything of that and talk a little bit about the economy. Why? Because the economy is a global sphere. Economy is something that is important to me, you, and you. It's something that rules the world. It's something that without money today you can't do anything. Maybe it's hard for us to perceive it, but it's true. I can't eat if I don't have money. I can't shower if I don't have money. good for us, and it's creating jobs and money flows and everything is so good when animals are killed for us. So to sum up the whole government idea, we believe that every technology that is made is not minimizing the harm, but maximizing. We believe that humans evolved to kill animals even more. We believe that forming your social identity, your cultural identity is a very part of forming you, so it is a social need. We believe that everything that we do to animals we do for greater good, and so I beg you to propose.
We thank you, Madam, for your speech. I would now like to call upon the opposition group to conclude this debate from the opposition side and remain as a whole. Hear, hear.
Hello to everyone. Firstly, I need to apologize for my bad English. Now I will continue. Sorry for the first, the debate was the clash of the debate. Okay, I will first rebuttal my opponent, then I will tell the clashes and tell you why the opposition win this and why we persuade you to vote for us. Firstly, my opponent tell us that we cannot provide our needs, firstly, in other way than killing them and suffering animals. That's not true, because there are lots of farms, farms which produce meats, animal meats in Europe, where they kill animals in an appropriate way. What means in appropriate way? That means that they not make them suffer, because that is not our need. I'm not happy if the animal is suffering. I'm happy eating meat, and that's our need. Okay. Secondly, they kill for fun. They say they kill for fun. I don't think any reasonable person kill for fun. You're not normal to kill someone for fun. My partner felt. Never mind. My partner Rezny told you. No, thank you. My partner told you already analogical examples of how it feels when you treat animal bad, when animal suffering. And the analogical examples were corrida. It's not matter is it banned in Catalonia, Spain, or everywhere else. It is the point is hurting me. Second thing, we were examples tell you. Okay, I'll go to my case because it's doing it already. Okay, the clashes were between I think between second opposition, first proposition, because it was here. It's our way human rights. We told you how this feels from aspect of humans. Okay, we are okay with that. Okay, we are superior. We need our needs. That's okay. Concept of law that tell us animals cannot obedient. They are not obedient. They cannot. You cannot trust them. That's okay. Okay, you have. You can say one group of humans, okay, but I'm going to tell you their human rights for everyone. I will give you an example. I like animals. I'm identified with, I like little kitty cats. I like it, and I'm hurt when you hit my kitty cat or you provide her suffering. I like, example, I like pony. I liked pony when I was young. I like to spread them. I like to ride the pony and everything. But in another way, I like meat of horse meat, and that's paradoxical. What can I do? I want to ride a pony, but I want to ride the pony, but I like meat. That's paradoxical. And in that case, I love that animal, but I like also to eat that animal. case, do not make her suffer. I will eat meat of that animal, but in other ways, I don't want that animal to suffer. In that way, you're hurting my rights. If you're saying, if you're regulating the rights, okay, if you're regulating the rights, you should regulate the rights of all humans. There's such a group of people who like animals, and our emotional connection with those animals, and that's why you forbidden us to connect with that animals. That is hurting me. You're abandoning my rights, and I'm not satisfied. If you are talking about the aspects of humans, that is not sure the aspects of humans. Because there are many of us who like animals, and suffering is not something we need to apply.
But what when it's crucial? For instance, medicines or something like that.
Okay, when it's medicines, the technology have advantage. There are many other ways than hurting animals. Okay, in that way, we do not want to suffer animals because I will be unhappy. I will have agony and pain for that because animal is suffering. In that way, if you're protecting human rights, then you're protecting all of them, not just part, because there are many of humans who like animals and that's hurting them. In that case, I have told you that the first no, thank you. I have told you that the first proposition is talking about human rights, but not the whole human rights, or then they're saying particular human rights, not of all people. And many of them will not be happy for killing animals. We need food, we need medicine, we need every needs you have told already. But there are other ways to do that thing, not to suffer, not the animal to suffer, because in that way, if animals suffer, I will suffer, I'm not happy, my human rights are not protected. In that way, we think that this concept is not appropriate. So I suggest you, and I think I explained to you that it's better to vote for opposition, and I will conclude my